So the next topic that we have at our disposal is consumer dogmatism. So in the previous topic, consumer innovativeness, we were speaking about consumers willing to take risks. Right now we are moving into an opposite situation, consumer dogmatism. What is consumer dogmatism? If the consumer feels that I have principle 1, 2, 3, 4 and I am only stuck with these principles, nothing more, nothing less. So if you are showing this sort of a rigidity, what happens is you are highly dogmatic. So we can say that consumers are divided into two categories: consumers high in dogmatism, consumers low in dogmatism. So right now the topic of discussion is not low on dogmatism people, because they are the ones who are open to take risks. Right now we are discussing about consumers who are high in dogmatism. So how is this high dogma coming out? I mean, we all exhibit high dogmatism. Like, we are stuck to a particular purchasing pattern. I want to go to this particular shop only. I want to purchase these particular products only. Why? Because you have been doing it for the past 10 years. So there is a set pattern which is at display. So you are showing high dogmatism. Even if a new product is getting displayed in that particular shop, you are kind of brand loyal to a certain pattern which you are cultivating. So in this moment, what happens is there are certain ways where you can break this high dogma. One way of doing it is deploying celebrities. So celebrities are good when your products are catering to low involved consumers, when your products are being catered to people who are high in dogmatism. Why? Because you see a celebrity on screen, certain brain cells get activated and you feel like changing a pattern. This happens unknowingly. Unknowingly, a lot of reactions are happening within your system and you start to get attracted to that particular product because of that particular celebrity. So celebrity endorsements is one way of tackling these highly dogmatic people. Second way is permission marketing. Permission marketing was beautifully displayed by Eureka Forbes. All of us know that Eureka Forbes really did well at the vacuum cleaning segment. So when they first launched vacuum cleaner in India, do you think there was a market for vacuum cleaners? I would say no. Why? Because vacuum cleaner is more of a Western product. In this particular country, we have this maid culture. The maid is coming, she's been paid a salary and she starts using the broom. So why the hell do you have to invest on a machine which costs more than a broom and clean your house? Anyways, the maid is doing it. Why should you buy a vacuum cleaner? So there was no market for vacuum cleaners in India. So the set pattern was hire a maid and she'll be doing the regular household chores. So this was the set pattern. You had to break it. So Eureka Forbes cleverly didn't use the typical strategy of advertising on various mediums, traditional mediums, social media. They didn't do all these things. They chose the permission marketing route. So they've deployed huge number of salespeople, and these salespeople went door to door. At that time, door to door was a very new thing. So these salespeople, they started demoing that particular product in front of their eyes. There was no advertising expense. It's basically salaries to salespeople. They started demoing. They started building relationship with the consumers at the ground level. So once a consumer purchased, then this particular consumer started referring to their neighbors. You know what, I've bought this product, it's really good, and this guy takes care of us really well. He keeps visiting my house every now and then just to tell me those extra features. So this positive word of mouth started spreading in the apartment. So a lot of apartments started getting engaged with this particular product, and that's how they were able to change the buying pattern of these aunties and uncles. So this is one way to tackle consumers who are highly dogmatic with respect to vacuum cleaners. There's another example in America. There's a brand called as American Express. What it did is, like for example, if you look at America, that was audio bombed, sorry. So in America, the organized retail percentage is more than 80%. Whereas in India, organized retail, all these big, huge retail houses, they've started blossoming. I mean, it's close to 25%. I don't know the recent figure, but it's close to 25 to 30%. But in America, it is 80%. So, it's the small businesses or mom and pop shops. These are the businesses which form the minority. Over here, they form the majority. Over there, they form the minority. So someone had to take care of these mom and pop shops or the kirana shops in the West. So what American Express did is they launched a campaign called as Small Businesses Saturday. They've launched this campaign. They've started distributing marketing materials to all these kirana shops, and they've created a lot of buzz among the public. So slowly and steadily people started subscribing to this particular Small Business Saturday thing. During Saturdays, they used to ditch those big malls who used to give a lot of discounts. They used to ditch those malls and they used to go and support these kirana shops. So this started becoming a trend, this started becoming a fad, and ultimately Obama had to tweet saying that good job American Express, you're doing a wonderful thing. So there was a lot of social service angle to it, which was very good. The cause was good, and at the same time, what we don't know is during that particular year, the transactions which were done via American Express, they've increased by 20% because of this particular campaign. So are you understanding about the high dogma nature of the Westerners? For them, it's all about getting big discounts in those big malls. So they had to change the pattern via doing something different. And this is what the American Express has done. So ultimately, this particular sentence, knowing your customers at a deeper level, becomes very relevant. What are your customers? We have been hearing this in the first year, right? Understanding the customer's needs and wants. It is very deep. And that's what we'll explore in consumer behavior module. Innovative consumers have to be treated in a certain way. Low dogmatic consumers have to be treated in a certain way. Highly dogmatic consumers should be treated in a certain way. So as a firm, you need to understand what your customer needs and wants. Okay, that's it for today's topic.